Trump made a statement.
In other words, we gave it to him
Where
for
President
nothing.
Trump's
The most
speaking.
expensive structure ever built in the history of our country, relatively speaking. The most by far. We lost 38,000 people. They gave it to him for $1, and then they charge more for our ships. It's not going to happen. And China's running the Panama Canal. That's not going to happen either.
Mr. President, on California, Mr. President, during the pandemic, you often said that you didn't believe that you should bail out blue states that you believe were being mismanaged. Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him?
Okay, they're trying to make drama, dude. That's a journalist that's not asking this question with real journalism in mind. That's a drama question. Yeah, no, he's not going to abandon the state of California. Come on. I hate Donald Trump. It doesn't even matter what he says here. Okay? Natural disasters took place under the Trump administration. And yes, there was mismanagement at the federal level across the board. That's just like a universal principle in general. But I don't think... First of all, California has like 4 million registered Republicans. What are we talking about? Okay. Like 4 million people that voted for him directly. California is so large that it has more Republican voters in it than like 4 Republican states combined. Okay. He's going to say something snarky and then people are going to run the media cycle for like a week being like, Trump is going to let the Californians get killed.
Do you believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes?
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is...
He withheld millions of dollars from Puerto Rico and routinely asked his advisors for demographics in affected areas. Not a ridiculous question. Yeah, there's a difference, okay? Every administration has destroyed Puerto Rico. It's understood that no government cares about Puerto Rico, okay? California is like the 4th largest economy on the planet. If California was a nation state on its own, it would be the 4th largest economy on the planet. Puerto Rico is a colony of the United States of America. It's a territory that we mistreat with regular frequency, regardless of who's the president. He literally did that in California? No, he threatened to withhold wildfire aid. He didn't actually do it.
A true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. I mean, virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You know, you talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's
I think one of the most annoying things that's going to happen under the Trump administration, aside from all of the regular violence and regular cruelty, is that remember the likes of like Michael Cernovich and you know Jack Posobiec. Whenever Trump would like say something stupid, they would hit the actually, what he's saying is a brilliant 5D chess move. Now that Donald Trump is more normalized, I think you will start seeing mainstream media do that as well. Like think pieces that from Vox.com being like, Trump said smelt is a massive problem in California. Here's how he's actually correct. Meanwhile, it's classic Trump. He just like picks something random and decides to hammer that in as though that's the major problem here. And I'm willing to bet that so many more outlets are now going to start entertaining this silly nonsense that he says. Yeah, in the same vein that the New York Times does for liberals, exactly. But they will do it for him as well because he's now a normal Republican. Okay, remember, he is considered a normal Republican. Donald Trump's vendetta against windmills might be a personal one. at first glance. Here is how windmills might be contributing to the whale suicides. Okay? Just wait. Donald Trump's statements about shower pressures actually tell a much larger story about when environmental regulation goes too far. I'm Mike Barbaro, and this is The Daily, okay? Just wait.
A mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water.
Okay, bro, you look weird, man. Is this guy all right? What's happening? Dude, this is a crazy take. Climate change deniers are now somehow blaming wildfires on black people. Some of the most innovative racism I've ever seen. Los Angeles deliberately set out to exclude white men from becoming firefighters. And now they don't have enough firefighters to prevent their city from burning to the ground. DEI is a cancer that destroys everything it touches. Dude, you are out of your mind, dude. This is a statement that is so utterly insane. What is going on, dude? The chief said it? Yeah, the chief said there are not enough firefighters to fight 4 massive wildfires when there are 80-mile winds that are blowing the fire. It's impossible to contain it. That is normal, okay? Because what is going on is abnormal. The proper preventative measure would have been to train and hire more firefighters, but that would require money beforehand, okay? More money to be spent on training firefighters beforehand. That is a real problem, okay? What is crazy, and remember, 30% of firefighters that fight these wildfires are literally slaves in the prison system in the state of California. California, woke California, remember that. So, like, even under normal circumstances, they don't have enough people. What is... You're late to the party. Some publications are doing exactly that. What is E&E News? What? Trump seizes on California wildfires to roast endangered fish. Dems. The president-elect has long begrudged efforts to protect the Delta smelt, siding with critics who argue that water flows would be better used by farms and cities. In comments posted to True Social, Trump criticized Governor Gavin Newsom over state and federal efforts to bolster water flows for an essentially worthless fish called a smelt. Trump has long begrudged efforts to protect the tiny Delta smelt, a 3-inch fish that lives in the Sacramento-San Joaquin River Delta in California, siding with critics who argue that flows from a major state water source would be better used by farmers in major cities rather than environmental needs, including wildlife habitat. They are very tasty. How come they don't use water from the ocean? They do. They do use water from the ocean. Even though salt water is obviously very damaging to the infrastructure, but at that point, you know what's more damaging? Fire. But they do use water from the ocean. We watched them take water out of the ocean and dump it. The smelt is important in that it is an indicator for the health of the system. The smelt go, that means the whole watershed is in a downward spiral. If that happened, way more industries would be screwed. When ecosystems crash before they've taken out too many Jenga blocks from the web of life, he'll say, "Who knew that smelt was important? Just a 3-inch fish. No one had any idea." He just hates the fish. He just hates this one tiny fish. I don't know. I'm not I'm not a scientist, okay? But everything that I know about the environment is that it's held together by ticker tape, okay? It's a very delicate ecosystem. Eviscerating an entire species from said ecosystem will probably have genuine consequences, like really bad, really negative consequences. I suspect. Once again, not a scientist. What is this?
They ask for all water dropping resources, and they ask for additional resources. So right now we've had this has jumped from a very small fire in the backyard. It ran up a ridge. Once it hit that ridge, we had these erratic winds, and it just had an ember cast that just pushed this throughout all of Palisades.
So they think the fire started in a backyard. It was like a tiny fire in a backyard. The upcoming nuclear clock will say doom due to climate change, probably. Oh, if you put that in a Filet-O-Fish, you would care. Hello, Azan. You are safe, not burning. No, contrary to what my haters want, I am not burning yet. It's honestly irrelevant what started this fire. The conditions could have led to a single cigarette starting these fires. Yeah, I know. It's more so the incredibly dry winter we've had so far. What is this? Watching video after video of invasive plants exploding like fireworks in what was once a resilient fire adapted landscape, and thinking about all the apologists who are like, what does invasive really mean, man? That's just like a construct. What is the invasive what are the invasive species here? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I thought these were all, naturally occurring. Are palm trees invasive? I thought palm trees were natural. I didn't know. I thought palm trees were naturally occurring in California. Like, I thought they were native. No, they were all planted. Look at the invasive species, not at all. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought palm trees were native. Joke, right? No, I wasn't joking. Chatters, I am not joking. They're everywhere. I literally thought that they were. I understand why. Obviously, putting invasive species of plants in areas can accelerate fires. I mean, look at Israel. Israel's another great example of this as well. Like, you're not real, Unc. They might not be native, but they aren't invasive. That means two different things. They lived to about 100. Most of them planted 100 years ago, and the Olympics are coming up, so there's a city council debate on what to do about it. Where there are palm trees, the land was colonized. They are everywhere because they were planted by white people. There are palms native to LA. Don't listen to chat. Besides LA, where have you seen palm in America? The short, stubby ones are native. The tall, skinny ones are not. Eucalyptus. It's nice that you're so cute. Okay, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I don't know enough about native trees here. All California invasive species. We got nutria? We got nutria in California? I didn't even know. Fishes, invertebrates. Okay, what about the invasive, not species, but invasive, not wildlife? I'm looking for the trees. The eucalyptus imported from Australia, they're filled with oil. Palm trees require so much water and only last 100 years, don't even provide shade. There should be controlled burns that stop when we exterminated indigenous. There should also be controlled burns that stop when we exterminated the indigenous folks. Where is this map from? Also, this is palm tree range. It doesn't say if they are naturally occurring or not. This just says like they can live there in this habitat, which we know they can. Not palms that you would recognize. Basically, most are not native. Same that eucalyptus are not native. Well, I always thought, okay, people are going to make fun of me now, but it was, I thought that it was like, what's the desert that has the, like the cacti, the cactus that looks like a palm? Kind of. Joshua tree. Like I thought it was like in that same region. You know what I mean? Desert style tree. So I just assumed that it was always a native tree. This is what trees are supposed to be like in California. Okay, this is different.
Old-growth coastal redwood
This is the best of the best.
trees are. This tree completely burnt on the inside 3 years ago, and it doesn't give a fuck. This tree is so fire resistant. The bark is over 4 feet thick. Look at this bark right here.
I mean, these trees are incredible.
That's its shield, Mother Nature's fire control. This thing didn't even fully burn, and it was burning for multiple days. Beef. These trees are fucking gangster. You gotta start protecting this real shit. Completely burnt in the inside, it's still alive. And these two branches are fusing together, grafting into a fused stem. This is why they survived the fire. Look how thick this bark is, bro. That thing is fucking huge, dude. It's like a fence
This guy's awesome because he has like maximum tree autism.
post, but twice as thick. That real shit. You can see the layers where it burnt. One layer burnt, but the other layer is good. Every year they just add a new layer. So this bitch gets like 4 feet. Here, look how big the root is, dude. That's a root right there. You can see it's not that deep. It stretches the car because his homie's gonna help him hold it down. But he's trying to reach that water. That's why they look at the root right there, dude. The branches and roots in the water. Oh, that water's so clean. This is salmon habitat too. Based. It's a riparian habitat. That's why these trees get so fucking big. The roots go straight in the water, dude. Look how big those roots are. It's so sick. They burnt 3 years ago. 0 fucks given. The largest redwood tree in Sonoma County. This tree's over 1,400 years old and over 300 feet tall. It's fucking beef. Almost all the old growth in Sonoma County got logged. It's one of the very few areas that got protected because humans be fucking shit up. But this is that real shit. This thing is so huge, dude. One of the coolest trees in the world, and you can tell.
There's a famous story about a tree. I think it's from the redwoods that they just cut. It was like the largest tree on the planet. And they chopped it down because people just didn't believe that it existed, only to take it to a world fair, right? Am I messing up that story? I feel like I messed it up a little bit. It's like a super sad story. And people still didn't believe it. That's not the story.